A large body of evidence has shown that the actual execution of a movement and its imagination, also known as motor imagery, and its observation, also called action observation, have similar neural features. These similarities emerge from a common simulative cognitive motor process that occurs during the rehearsal of the action representation needed to drive behavior. Due to their features, both motor imagery and action observation have been applied in the rehabilitation of motor disorders, especially on patients with limited mobility. However, due to methodological limitation, there is a lack of evidence on how these techniques are of benefit in the treatment of motor disorders, and whether they involve the same motor processes associated with movement execution. Here we used a mobile-EEG approach to study motor processes related to motor imagery and action observation of walking, in order to provide new evidence for the rehabilitation of gait disorders. We asked 24 healthy participants wearing the 32 channels mobile EEG to complete 3 experimental conditions. In the actual execution of walking condition, they were required to actually walk on a 6-meter path and to perform 6 consecutive steps. In the action observation of walking condition, they were asked to stand without moving and observe a person walking on the 6-meter path. In the motor imagery of walking condition, they were firstly trained to focus on the feeling as they were moving, and then to imagine to walk on the same path and mentally doing 6 consecutive steps. As shown in the central figure, which illustrated beta activity over the brain across the 3 conditions, we found similar patterns of cortical activity during actual walking and motor imagery. However, a different pattern of cortical activity emerged in the case of action observation of walking. In particular, we found similar beta power suppression or decrease over sensory-motor brain areas during actual execution and motor imagery, which is typically considered as the index of the activation of motor areas. This pattern was not evident in action observation of walking, which indeed was significantly different from both execution and motor imagery. This might have important implications for the application of brain-computer interface systems and the rehabilitation of patients with gait disorders.